I was happy when we had red side matter.
Yeah, there was actually a bit this season where where some people would just like, we'll go a little bit red side, get some counter pick. But I think we're kind of seeing just so many power picks, so limited bans to deal with them as we're waiting on the Rumble and Tristana nerfs scheduled for the next patch. They are available on live. And it means something gets through. And you have to hope that whatever is picked first on blue side doesn't auto-win them the game. We see the Ezreal, Ashe, and Brand banned here by DRX. The Brand more of an outlier. Rumble, Kalista. Now, Tristana Corki still open. Sejuani still open. I feel like you could opt to ban Sejuani and then leave the trade-off of the 80 carries, but maybe you want to get your hands on Vi. A lot of options in this situation. It really depends on the team's priority. Next, you go for the Zyra ban. So going a completely different direction. And DRX maybe thinking, okay, well, we can trade these off anyway. Well, let's just pick the Zeri. Nongshim immediately leaning towards the Kai'Sa. And with 2 AP junglers banned, it does provide a decent amount of AP damage. It's been a good pick for Jiwoo. But also, Fisher's been pretty solid on the Tristana most of the time. And if you are wanting to go an AD mid still, having that AP in the comp could make things a lot easier for them.
Corki.
Looks like they'll lock in the Corki. Do they want to round out with the Kai'Sa to pair with it? Or do they want to go in a different direction? If you want to go jungle, you can go jungle now. Vi is up and available, and you are playing into Zeri.
Yeah, I don't think you can give Vi over to Sponge.
Oh, you could go Vi, Zeri, Ahri. I've heard that's a good trio.
Yeah, I mean... And they're playing Sedge, which, individually, a lot of power. Corki Sedge is all right, but, like, you're giving Vi over... They're not even going to play Vi. They're just going to play Azir and Poppy. So they have their own strategy. They are not being Kefir X, they say.
Yeah, they opt to go for the Poppy. We saw Peanut play this to great effect. Very good at leaning into the side lanes and applying pressure there. Good at dives. And the Azir coming out, which is gaining popularity, particularly the tank build. Toying with 80 carry picks here for Nongshim. If you have a lot of picks potentially to go for, could end up just locking a top laner, but it looks like they just want to secure that Kai'Sa. I think when you have the Sejuani jungle and the Corki mid, you need AP from somewhere, and that Kai'Sa does provide a decent amount of it, especially when you know you're playing into a Poppy who will be tanky. Going into the next rotation of bans, I feel like DRX, you can just ban aggressive supports, Nautilus, Leona, make a lot of sense. Not sure how afraid you are of Braum. After the side of Nongshim, they're going to ban away the Lulu. I don't like Kai'Sa Braum as a pairing, so I wouldn't be too bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they pick that. But I definitely think, especially when you're playing Zeri, I feel like the Nautilus gets a lot of value. But Nautilus priority's really fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, it has. It's so reliable. I'm not really sure why. I mean, it doesn't do well into Braum.
I think that's just like Braum, Alistar, Leona are all like a little bit fiddly matchups for the Nautilus is the way I'll describe it.
But you could press R.
True. Imagine if you had a jungle Nautilus who just could press R. Maybe featuring an Arcane.
Yeah, totally ignored. And Tristana also totally ignored. Tristana with a 96.5 presence.
Well, not anymore.
96.5% presence in the LCK. Just totally ignored.
Yeah. And Aatrox ban coming in away from Heil, so... Do you just pick support here? I think a lot of teams would, and forego the counter pick. Actually going for the top. I respect this. Going for the Gnar. Gnar's been a solid buy, and a lot of people picking it on this patch. Means you get the counter pick for support, and you get to eye up what DRX are going to take. Looks like they will just go for the Alistar, which has really risen in popularity, I feel like, over this week, honestly.
Alistar also has really good stats. Up towards 70% win rate with like 45 games played. Maybe not that many, maybe like 35, but still, just really popular.
He's also very beefy. He has good stats like health and armor.
Beefy, you say?
Yeah, beefy.
Yeah, about sitting about there. He's actually going to go for the Jax into the Gnar, which eventually can handle it. I think it can be very finicky, especially early on, and Rascal does have a lot of pressure on him in that matchup. So now here comes the counter pick for Guger. You're not playing Relin to that comp with Alistair and Poppy.
I think just go the Nautilus.
Yeah.
I have confidence in it. You know, some struggles in the Poppy at times, but the matchup in Alistair's fine, and so much value against the Zeri. And also, it's, you know, Kai'Sa Nord is just, that is a pairing we've seen for a long time. Always works effectively in those 2v2 battles. And again, I think an answer to Teddy is important, which they have. I don't think we've seen anything particularly innovative from this draft on either sides, but it doesn't need to be. This just kind of feels like a, even though we've seen like some things overlooked, like the Tristana, which is weird to us, all these picks feel like sort of par for the course in the current meta. Obviously some things a bit more fringe, like the Nautilus we're not seeing as much, the Poppy not as popular. But yeah, I think both teams coming out with compositions that are fairly straightforward. They have engaged, they have teamfight potential, they have late game. Will come down the lane matchups a fair bit, but a lot of them are sort of lane matchups where we've seen them go either way depending on how well they've been played, which I think is a good way to start the series off, because it will just come down to the execution. And Nongshim had the edge last time.
They did.
Can do so once more.
I love all the Jiwoo signs. He gets so much love. And, you know, he was the first main carry for this roster, and he has stuck around even through the changes that they have made to the roster, understandably. Biggest thing for me on the side of DRX that I'm worried about is the Jax in the top lane into the Gnar. I think the Mihail, fantastic Gnar, might be able to bully him early on. We'll see how that one does go, as it looks like we are ready to hop into the rip for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 1 starts right now. Match 50, the last match of week 5.
I like how you say starts now, and they immediately start fighting.
I told them it was okay, so
Yeah, he approved it.
they started. And we're already more than halfway through LCK Summer. Just speeding by.
It is zooming so fast. We are seeing the tank Azir again. Well, not fully tanked, but with the grasp, which is just super obnoxious. And I feel like for me, you know, we've seen Sejuani be super strong. I think like early on, I think Nongshim's bot lane has the edge. Top lane, the Gnar does pretty well. But I'm really looking at Sponge because playing into a Gnar, if you find a situation where like the wave is bounced and stacked up, and you can get a really easy dive off with the Poppy and the Gnar, as long as he doesn't have Mega, you just slam him into the wall, have Rascal follow up with the stun, and that should be enough.
Fisher does not care about the soldiers of Yahoo, and he is just going to look at him and fire a bunch of guns at him. Takes the damage from the ranged minions, does not care, and will win the trade.
Just corky things. Just press Gatling gun, auto. Honestly, you can just right-click and just take your hands off the keyboard.
Yep.
Just leave it there. You're like, do your thing, Corky, and he really does. Big reason why teams have prioritized this so heavily. In honesty, paired with the Sejuani, it's not as important that you have this mid lane priority, but a lot of picks in the meta that we have seen have appreciate that value.
You can see that Zeri ahead in this matchup for Summer. Teddy, Jiwoo, and Viper have one on the Kai'Sa. And 2 of those players are in this game. So probably a decent understanding of how this matchup works.
Yep.
As you should if you are an AD carry. 2 of the more common AD carries we see.
You haven't seen them a decent amount. And if you look at the jungles, Sponge pathing towards the bot side, not really, I feel like, in a position to make anything happen there, although Jiwoo and Google a bit overextended. But I wonder, is Rascal going to push up? The wave's actually in a pretty vulnerable spot. If a gank was going to come in, he is very overextended. We could see something happen.
Yeah, it might happen. Sylvie full clear up to the top side of the map. And he hits level 4, so now's the time. Puts the ping down. Rascal needs to know this timing.
Oh, man.
He needs to know he's in danger. There is a big wave, so it looks like Mihail's not quite going to call for the gank just yet. But he's going to thin it out, and Sylvie was spotted, and it just not able to get there on time.
Honestly, that could be a lane ender if that connected. Rascal having his recall cancelled, and I think would probably have to flash to get out of that situation. So precise timing, I feel like he got away on. And Sponge just going to continue the full clear. He's not really going to be able to apply any pressure in the bot lane. Mid lane, though, this has been a slugfest. I think it goes without saying. Very much making use of the health bars is the way I like to describe it.
Well, you wanted a Poppy dive. Looks like they want to go bot, and they do have an Alistar. And look at this. The Kais is up against the wall. The knockup comes in, and that is so easy. Line him up and knock him down for Teddy on Zeri, who also already gets a kill.
Super nice execution there. I love Pletter's use of the... yeah, Fisher's actually legitimately in trouble here.
Yeah. Well, he does have Valkyrie, and he is going to flash, and ooh, Rascal just barely out of range. Now, he is going to have another lead strike, and here comes the Poppy, and there's another one. Rascal with a fantastic gank in mid.
Yeah, I mean, the stun just misses by Rascal, but what a heads-up play to roam down that timing. Knows the wave is bouncing back, so he misses nothing on the back of this, and thanks to the help of Sponge, a second kill picked up.
Yeah, I mean, that's just great awareness, as you mentioned. Just coming down, and it starts off with this dive.
Yeah, so Pletter headbutts towards the wall, so he doesn't have to burn Q. Expecting the flash from Jiwoo. Jiwoo does flash it, immediately slammed in the wall with no cleanse, and then the pulverize to follow. Just beautifully played. And the extendo beam as well from Teddy connects. Great, and here the stun does just miss, but the leap strike's coming up, and the...
What?
Wow.
Well, we're going to have to see what happened there, but Jiwoo was alone with a big wave, without flash, without barrier, 1v2, and now he's dead.
And DRX clearly wanting vengeance for the last time they had this matchup. They are crushing this early game so far, already at 5 minutes, 1.5k gold ahead. And Jiwoo, who for the longest time has been the shining star of this lineup, is being punished. And just, you see Guga roaming up with the jungler. They didn't expect Pletter to be there. Great pickup. And a terrible time to die with the wave. You want to crash it in as much as possible. But a heads-up play from Pletter to read that and find the angle. You can see the wave once again in this position. CS discrepancy pretty significant with a bigger wave on Nongshim's side as well.
Well, what? Why did he just hold the wave?
To get it to get to the other side.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he'll get that back. Kind of an unfortunate misclick. Chemtech Drake will be taken by Nongshim. That seems to be the first good thing that has happened for them. Just one Drake though, and it's still very early on in this game. Meanwhile, the Grubs were taken by DRX, and you've got a Jax on your team and a Fed Zeri. Feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, we talked a lot about this, how the Gnar can have quite a bit of pressure in this matchup. The Jax with Grasp will do that, stack up Grasp, trade on the back of it, back away. But you can really have a rough time, but this extra boost of gold from the kill really helping Rascal out in this matchup. I say as he starts to really badly lose the trade.
Well, he was doing well. I mean, his trading patterns were fine, but then, you know, it's a long lane. You got to be careful against Gnar, who slowly going to get that extra range, and the Rascal also used his extra money on a cull. So as of right now, not really going to help him.
Yeah, but when his investment portfolio pays off. Oh, the cannon.
Oh!
And he gets hit by the house. Man, this is a rough one.
Well, you just had to say something, Ox, didn't you?
Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah. He was having a great time. He was enjoying himself, trading with Jax, pressuring Mahal, and then this happened.
I guess I should say something about Teddy if we want to keep Jiwoo's hopes in this game alive, because, yeah, that's a big CS discrepancy, and they are threatening another dive.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvie is like, I'd love to do my own jungle, but I just don't really get to it. Now he's rushing down to the bottom side of the map, and he'll get there eventually. I mean, the dive isn't going to happen because Nongshim are already backed away. But now it's just going to be a 3-on-3, and guess what? DRX still win this. Sylvie level 6, but you don't really have an angle to ult when your bottom lane doesn't exist.
Yep, Teddy with the ult as well. So much power in these early skirmishes. Guga has to flash away, get out of that situation, and nothing will come from this mid lane trade ever. They just keep fighting, and Yehu gets grasp stacks, and that's it. Oh, could they do something?
You said nothing would come of it, so something's going to come of it. They get the flash of Yehu. That would have happened regardless of the trade, but still is very good. Until he gets value out of his ult.
Maybe if he was higher HP, he wouldn't have bothered flashing. So.
Yeah. Well, stun comes in, it's the ult from Rascal, but you get hit by a boomerang, you're slowed down, and you're Jax.
Immediately.
So
it's like, I'm gonna ult, I'm go, and then he gets hit by one boomerang, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm too tired to continue. This is a very ominous vision toggle.
Yeah, I feel like there is a sneaky cow behind them and a Poppy, and the flash doesn't do anything. Gio's dead. He is going to ult away, but he's got 2 tanks that are ready and willing to dive. I feel like Teddy's taking forever to kill him, but it doesn't matter. 3 kills for the Zeri. It's not a Zeri moment, but it is 3 individual small Zeri happenings.
And just when Gio gets summoners back, loses them immediately again. Feels really painful, and especially because, you know, I feel like he did everything he could to try and escape the play, but DRX once again just executed really well on it. You'll see here how Pleta doesn't lead with a head, but he gets in a position where he just flash Qs, and Gio too late to get out of it with his flash. Does ult to try and get some space, and unfortunately doesn't end up getting away.
Yeah. It's a couple of times as well where Guger's out on the map trying to get vision, trying to do something, and Gio's just alone. And the wave is pushing away from Gio, so it's very uncomfortable for the AD carry to be like, yeah, I'm just going to give up an entire wave because it's too scary and I have no vision and my support isn't here. Now, this is a Gnar who is level 9. Definitely feels like Teddy is trying to climb the Mortal Kombat ladder, but hit an enemy that's too strong for him.
This feels like a common trend where someone ults on Mihail, and Mihail hits the boomerang and just runs away. You know, that's the second time we've seen it in like a minute and a half.
It is Gnar.
He is very much utilizing the run strategy.
Yeah. The hop and run.
Yeah.
Not even walk.
Setting up for this dragon now. No ult on Zeri is somewhat a cause of concern.
Nongshimer trying to fight this, but that is an Alistar you just hooked, who does have the Unbreakable Will. The ult is going to come in. They really want to get value out of this, and they might just be able to take down Pleta, which they do, because DRX were just in full run mode, and Rascal wasn't there.
Yeah, they end up trying to commit just to get the one grub, get that 4 so they get the extra grub spawning now. You can see didn't really end up paying off that much, though, losing that life there, but still ahead by 2,000 gold. You see Rascal picking up that plate, of course, and now Sponge is back for more.
And he should be, yeah, he's going to get it. Nicely done. 5 grubs for DRX.
5 out of 6 grubs. Dragon is up and available. No team making a move towards it now.
I mean, you knew that Sponge was there. Mihail thinking with the Mega Gnar he should be fine, and he is going to hit Mega Gnar. And he does utilize the walk-away strat. Again,
very powerful.
Walks in a straight line.
But will it work twice?
Well, there's not a lot of space to walk on this one, but you are Mega Gnar, and Sylvie's right there. So now Pleta kind of in an awkward spot, but there's the ult, the Keeper's Verdict. And now the Mega Gnar becomes mini and doesn't do anything, just dies. Teddy picks up his 4th kill.
Ends up being a bait. Mihail thinking he's caught out the Alistar, but even without the ult, Alistar's still very tanky. And they end up overcommitting the ult from Sponge as well to knock Sylvie away. Really well done. And it just feels like DRX getting further ahead and further ahead in this game. 4-0 now on Teddy Zeri.
Yeah, again, no big Zeri moments, just 4 Zeri happenings where there have been dives, there have been setups, there have been, plays in top lane where his team is helping him get ahead. And Teddy is a guy where you always feel good about getting kills.
Yeah, Pleta ults very early here, knowing that he's going to need it to try and get out of this situation. But Nongshimer willing to commit a lot of resources just to get that kill in return. And then this play on the top side. So trying to look for the Alistar here, gets the stun, goes to the ult follow-up. But this ult from the Poppy, I'm thinking maybe he was trying to get both of them, but because it just hit the Sejuani, ends up being even better. You know, you get the kill on the Gnar who comes out of Mega.
Yeah.
Super high value.
Honestly, if I were playing Poppy there, I would have missed, because I would have aimed at Sylvie and he would have dashed ahead. But Sponge, a pro gamer, he predicted it, and he was ready. And he knocks it down right away. Very nicely done. Nongsum did lose their tower on the bottom side of the map. which was highlighted there by Jonah Strong as we did come out of the replay. So the pressure's being put on. That's 5 plates that were given over to DRX already in the bottom lane alone, not to mention the one in mid and one in top. And the Dragon is theirs for the taking if they would like a Mountain Drake, which they will go for now.
Yep, so they're going to be able to equalize in terms of Dragons, and the Mountain Dragon a lot more valuable. And also, Rascal's just cashed in the Cole, and already has the Triforce completed. So he is incredibly strong, and that scaling side lane Jax might be an issue already.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens, right? You've got a choice. You can pick the tank, you can play Cassante, you can kind of, you know, get through the lane and not really have much pressure as the game comes along, but you're a great team fighter, or you can go for the Jax. And yes, you get bullied a little bit early on, but if you accelerate this fast, eventually the Gnar is not going to be able to do anything in the side lane except throw a boomerang at you.
You look at the gold spread there as well for the plates. About 300 gold for both Rascal and Teddy. Exactly who you'd want that money on. And now, Herald's been started. For Nongshim, I just don't see a way you can reasonably contest this.
Yeah. I mean, they grouped up over the last set of grubs, which I think was fine. They got the kill on Tapleta, but trying to group for that, which they don't really. I mean, they kind of like look at it, and then they're like, wait, no, we can't, and then they back away.
Yeah.
4K deficit. It's not going to do anything.
4K deficit this early on feels really bad. They will see Mihail get some alone time on the bot lane tower, but immediately negated by a TP from Yahoo, so not even able to answer back there. And looks like DRX trying to put pressure onto this top lane tier 1. Seen a couple of dives around this, so Fisher needs to be careful. Does have Sylvie for backup, but Teddy moving in.
Oh, no! Just everything sailing wide of the Zeri, who pressed one button and glided along a wall.
Yeah, I think the Q from Nautilus missed before the dash came in.
It looked that way,
yeah. Yeah. But, you know, we're not going to get a replay of just that little escape. It's so hard to fully comment without watching it back. But yeah, it looked like it was just short, and then Teddy dashes to dodge the Sejuani ult. Sylvie obviously throwing it. You got to throw it immediately, assuming the Q, what's the hook? Dredge line?
Dredge line.
Dredge line connects.
The big anchor ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice ward there. It's going to see everybody in the river.
Yeah, and I feel like this is kind of Nongshim knowing that they kind of have to play around vision pockets and just look for picks at the moment. Preferably on a Zeri. If they kill Teddy, and you know what? We talked a little bit about this Nautilus. You probably feel a lot better about having a Nautilus when there's a fed Zeri in the enemy team. It feels warranted.
This is very valuable. I mean, if the Zeri ever just goes crazy in a fight, you can always just press R, and it'll buy you a little bit of time, a little bit of hope. If you didn't have that, you kind of just have no hope because there's no hard lockdown. You gotta pray at that point that the Sejuani can get on top of the Zeri, which is not easy, especially with a front line that's going to make things very difficult for you. Like engaging into Poppy Alistair, I implore you to try it. It's really difficult.
I feel like those two champions, when you think of like bouncers, I feel like they really live up to it. Because, you know, there's a lot of champions who, like Nautilus, who's great at engaging. He can peel fine, but I feel like if there's a Poppy and an Alistair standing on a champion, no melee champion can really approach.
Yeah.
Very painful.
Maybe like other bouncer champions like Braum could be one. He puts up the door.
No, he puts up the door and gets headbutt away. Oh, you mean other bouncer champions?
Yeah.
In that
bouncer champions.
I thought you meant champions that could approach.
No.
Okay, I was like...
Please no engage Braum, please.
Braum? Just shield up,
engage Renata.
Oh, yeah.
Fates call Renata with Ziggs. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that ever again.
Never.
All right, Pleta, this is not the first time he's done this to Jiwoo, and he's going to get the flash away from him. He will happily accept that trade. And it's not even a trade because he's got Hex Flash. Shout out to Atlas, as we do have the smite coming in, but the charge still works. And they have an Azir turret. They've got a Jax in the side lane who's winning against the Gnar already. And things are just moving along swimmingly here for DRX. Right as I say that, there's a TP coming in. That's a Corki, though. Can they kill Rascal in time? Rascal does not have flash. As the Poppy ultimate going to be huge, they get the Gnar away, and now it's just, oh no, the Sejuani going to be coming up the river, and now Rascal's going to go down. Here comes Teddy, but the R button press from the Nautilus is good enough. He is so low, and he has taken out the turn from Nongshim. Comes in immediately.
And what could have been a pick onto one member turns into so much more because DRX are unwilling to let Rascal go, and they pay so heavily for it. Nongshim looking for the window, they find it and burst it open. Rascal overextended here. The ult from Sponge is good, but the backup is coming sooner. To the side of Nongshim, you don't have your Alistair here, you don't have your Azir here. Teddy makes the hero play, but this is why Nautilus is broken into Zeri. You just press R.
Yep. You don't need the Sejuani to hit anything. You don't need a crazy outplay. You just need a champ from, what is it, 2014?
Yeah, something like that.
And he presses one ability.
And all of a sudden, Jiwoo, 3 kills in the pocket. The shutdown from Teddy going over as well. The game state looks far better. It's a 1.5k gold lead only now for DRX.
Yeah, it was like 5k, so...
yeah.
DRX are still in the lead, and they're going to get this first Infernal Drain. But this certainly makes the chances of Nongshim much better.
Oh, absolutely. And Jiwoo, I feel like that's the thing with a player like Jiwoo, is he obviously had a rough time in the early game, but you can always kind of rely on him in teamfights to know what his job is. And sure, all he did was kind of ult in there and clean up, but now he has the damage, the power, right? If you look comparison between him and Teddy, Teddy has 2 longsword advantage. Not that much anymore.
Yeah, it was much bigger. But instead, Nongshim buy themselves a ticket back into this game. Or was it DRX that was offering out the tickets?
I'll say DRX stamped it.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Nongshim bought the ticket, DRX went, there you go, buddy.
Yeah, sure, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Full admission to the to the DRX game. And, I mean, there's this Baron up here, but there's no way they're going to start this. They do want to take down this outer turret in
This has been the focus of the game, is this top lane tier 1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the minions keep dying. Maybe they need to get Baron so they can get top lane tier 1. That has become a bit of the focus, but they do eventually put enough pressure up here to be able to get this tower. They have taken down all the outers. And still, about 2,000 gold lead to DRX is still ahead, but not as significant. And it kind of just feels like with that going down, it's a bit harder to crack the tier 2 towers. And the momentum's definitely been slowed down for DRX. You can feel them playing a little bit more wary after they made that fumble.
Yeah, it's not going to feel good mentally. Like, they can't see the exact gold numbers. They just see, like, a kill score. They see they're ahead in Dragons. They see, okay, well, Zeri's still fed. The Jax is doing well. So they still feel good, but they don't feel like, okay, we're definitely in the lead 100%. But, again, we'll have to wait and see what the next team fight looks like to
And as much as we have some Giga Brain LCK players, they don't calculate exactly how much gold this team has.
Well, they're going to hook this one guy. Sponge nearly dies. That's the ult coming in, but it wasn't used on the Zeri, and so Cougar's just dead. As TP comes in, they have to back away. Mihail doesn't even bother. And that's the pick on a Cougar, so now maybe DRX look at this Baron. Although, it's only 5v4. You got a couple of low health bars here, but Sponge on the Poppy says, no, we can do it. I've got Keeper's Verdict, and I will be ready to use it on Sylvie.
Yeah, if you can get the knock away, it'll work, but it looks like they just wanted the TP, and to pull off from the Baron, I think that's the right call for them. It does risk their tier 1 mid, though, as they are a little bit routed. I think they should be able to get in time to defend it. The minion wave is... so that's going fast, actually. Never mind, it's gone.
Wow. Well, the Kai'Sa are really chunking that thing.
Yeah, ends up kind of backfiring. Like, they get the TP from Mihail, but lose mid tier 1, so not ideal. But yeah, I think learn a couple of lessons about who to ult for the side of Nongshim. Teddy, specifically.
Yeah, not Poppy, not Sponge. Yeah, they know he's here. And Sylvie and Mihail are here. Sponge also, but Jiwoo around. And you've got Counter-Strike, you got Keeper's Verdict, but that's only going to do so much as Sponge takes a ton of damage, nearly goes down to the Boomerang, who just fell short.
Yeah, and no Warmogs on Sponge. He's super low. Wants to reset, but Baron's being started. You got to stay around.
Rascal doesn't have TP. He was forced to back. It's a 5v4. Yehu just took a big one to the face, and now the hook comes in. The stasis value is huge, but Sponge is so low, and Teddy is trying to peel for the team. Jiwoo goes way too deep by himself, and he is going to go down. So yes, it's a 1-for-1, but now you've lost your AD carry on the side of Nongshim, and Teddy is just gonna run everybody down. The follow-up engage comes in from Pleta. And man, Mihail and the rest of them are just not sure about this. They do want to turn this around. The ult comes in on a Teddy, but do they have the damage? The hook is there, but Teddy, oh, he flashes away. He barely gets out of there, but Sylvie should finish the job, and there it goes. As it's only Rascal.
Wait, they can't kill him.
They can't kill Rascal, though. They just used everything on Azeri.
Yeah, they looking for this? This seems very risky.
There's no way. Well, you got Meganar. But they can't kill him, but they're trying to peel, and you know what? They will just barely be able to. Rascal not going to follow for too long.
Yeah, and that was such a hectic fight, and we have Dragon in 20 seconds that we also need to focus on. We'll get a quick replay here, and yeah, this is where they made the mistake of ulting not Zeri. Didn't work out. Zeri flies in, presses buttons. Great illustration, thank you, Teddy. And then further on, we saw where they made a, well, not quite here. First they go to Yehu, and we see Jiwoo fly in, but is baited by the Seeker's Arm Guard of Yehu, who also buys a lot of time here, disengaging, does go down in the end. But Jiwoo commits so deep, and because Yehu survives so long into trade, we see Fisher go down. We're gonna have to cut back to live. We do have Rascal on the flank. This is a big flank angle. A lot of summoners down.
Wait! What the hell was that? He buffered a hook into the wall. He sticks around, and now Sponge is dead. Teddy gonna ult nobody. A big divide though from Yehu, but it's not gonna matter. DRX cannot follow up on that one, and Nongshim win a gigantic team fight.
Absolute fumble by DRX, with some clutch plays there from Nongshim. Rascal not even seen when it comes to the flank. Dragon not even a concern. They're looking straight towards the Baron. This game firmly in Nongshim's control now. And in this play, using the Q buffer on the ult to get back. Jiwoo flies in, and then Teddy actually misangles the slide a bit and misses the ult completely. Also, Yehu not connecting onto Jiwoo, and at this point you can see on the minimap Rascal too far away. The coordination completely off for the side.
그래 미쳐. 야 진짜
DRX.
지키면서 머리 땡겨 이거 머리 땡겨. 나 끌었어. 다시 왔다. 아질.
He's already calling it before it even happens. I mean, he knows what to do. The fans can barely believe it. Already getting some tears in. Has been kind of a hectic game.
It has been a crazy back and forth. Now Nongshim, Baron in pocket, looking for this Dragon. DRX looking to contest.
Yeah, trying to get on top of Guger, and unfortunately for his sake, he is very much alone. He's going to throw an ult into Yehu, and he survives, though, and the damage doesn't come through for DRX. And once again, Rascal's on the flank, but he's not here. He's not here on time for the fight, and Teddy's going to go down as well. Nongshim have absolutely flipped this game on its head.
And Rascal's just chilling, miles away from every fight. The timing of these flanks has been so off for DRX. Night and day compared to BNK FearX of the last series, who seemed so crisp on the coordination. Nongshim just hold strong, group up as a unit, and will be able to clean out this. Oh, will be able to clean out this inhibitor. Will back away and move towards the top tier 2.
Somebody popped Jiwoo back towards the enemies with a blast cone.
Just a little bit of fun, a little goof.
Yeah. They're having fun. I mean, the last couple of team fights have been so one-sided, it's hard not to have fun. We'll take a look at this replay. I mean, it's very clear. The TP didn't even start until now.
Yeah, it's so late. And the thing is, Pleta gets shredded through his ult by Fisher's true damage on the autos. He's actually not that tanky even with the ultimate, especially since he's so low level. And the cleanup is just so quick after that. Like, Pleta doesn't even have level 2 ult, so the damage reduction isn't actually that high. Just gets absolutely melted. Now we're looking at a 2-level lead between AD carries, 2-level lead top lane, 1-level lead mid, 2-level lead in the jungle. The goal difference is significant, but we can see the XP on the side. The level lead is such a hard factor to overcome.
Yeah, it feels like either they get a bunch of kills that really pull their XP back, or Nongshim just run away with this game.
Yep.
And you have, again, we love Nautilus, such reliable engage. You hit a hook, you press R on Zeri. There's not a lot that DRX can do to fight, and they're already getting poked out. It's Corki Kaisa. We didn't talk about this too much, but the poke is significant.
Yeah, starting to really connect. Some low health bars. Gonna have to get a. Well, we don't really need a reset from Athletic.
Oh, nice follow-up there from Sylvie, but it is very deep, but they don't care! They will go deep as the Divide hits nobody, and the ult is in on a Yehu. The follow-up from Fisher is huge. He might pay for it with his life, actually, but it just does not matter. Gnome are so far ahead. Gio is full health, full mana. All he had to do was press R one time. It's a very broken up fight here as eventually the R comes into the wall. Feels like the first one we've seen all game, but it is very timely as Gnome will pick up game number 1.
Managed to secure it, had to get a big comeback in that one to find their way back into the game. But an absolute battle, and they managed to bounce back against the side of DRX. The early lead, gone to the win, the 4-0 Zeri wasn't enough. And I think that one's going to feel pretty painful. 1-0 down now. They need to get 2 in a row if they want to win this series against Nongshim.
So that production voted for Cougar for POG. I don't know. I mean, he had that one cool play with the buffer, but he also had some decent ults that did come in. I think it's kind of hard. A big comeback victory. He pressed ult onto Teddy a couple of times in some really key moments. He just did his job. That's what Nautilus is do.
He did his job. But you know what? Sometimes you just do the simple thing and it works. You know, why overcomplicate League of Legends?
Yep.
Pick Nautilus, press R on the enemy carry, make them feel bad. And yeah, I mean, Yehu had a fight or two where he fought a lot of time, but pretty quiet. Rascal, frustrating. The fact that he had such an advantage, it feels like nothing came from his side lane pressure. He got that turret spot with the plates, didn't achieve anything more. In the team fights, he was always so late. And Fisher, I think, quietly doing a lot of work on this Corki pick.
Absolutely. Tons of damage. Really always there. Right position, right time to really layer in the damage. And Nongshim played like a team for the second half of that game. DRX, unfortunately, were not able to. We'll see if they can in game number 2. But first, we'll take a break and have the space. We'll be right back.
올려줄게.
나 이번에 살짝 공각 볼게 이거.
야, 잭스 미드야. 걸어도 돼. 걸어. 아,
사우부터. 나 제이드 좋아. 살리지만 않으면 이게.
아, 이게 끝났다. 나 잡긴 했는데 괜찮을 때 이거. 아, 끝내. 괜찮아.
끝내라 나 얘.
끝내 놀아라. 할 수 있나요?
조금 깨.
오, 아 진짜 한타로.
야, 나 진짜 타워 모드 어땠어?
아 진짜
야, 타워 모드가 게임 끝냈다. 땡큐요. 인정?
나이스.
But just now learning that you can just pick point and click CC like Nautilus into it and lock it down. Quite amazing. Not news, obviously, to most people, but I feel like we've had some drafts in the past week or two where people just haven't had a response to this champion. And Nongshim had the recall, you know, Fed Zeri denied, specifically by Guga's pick there. And I think especially when you're playing against a team like DRX where so much weight goes on a Teddy, it makes sense. Kai'Sa will be banned here, denying that one off the bat. And it is blue side again, the side of DRX. They did ban Ashe last time, and here is where Nongshim bans Zyra. Do they ban Zeri? Do they care?
Or ban Ashe. I mean, there's
Or
a
just
chance
ban
that
Zyra again.
There's a chance that Teddy goes to Ashe this game, and yeah, they're not going to allow it to happen. But now you get the Ashe ban as well that you had last game, because you force it from Nongshim, and you could just pick Zeri, and now Gio has one less option.
And DRX are like, we could have just let them ban Ashe this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the pains of blue side, you know, you have to ban first when they could have just left that one for Nongshim. Now, see what they opt to go for. So Corky Sedge was what they took last time. We're going to go Senna and Nort. You could just go on this rotation.
Yeah. One of my pet peeves in the LCK, though, is when you put Jiu on Senna over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, he's your best player. Don't put him on Senna.
Yeah. But Guga won POG. He deserves farm this game. And they actually go for the Ornn. Interesting. So, a lot of scaling, but you don't have that same point-and-click CC on the Zeri. Now, don't get me wrong, Ornn, it's a big ult, right? It's very possible to hit the Zeri, but the Zeri can flash it, you know? The Zeri can dash it. Definitely ways around it. And DRX have got a slightly different first three, swapping out the Poppy for the Sejuani. But the Sejuani is here feeling like a really popular duo, and this, yeah, just do that. Don't do the LeBlanc. Fish had a good game, had a good time in lane. I don't think you need to switch things up. You know, you're not Showmaker.
Yeah. It's fine. Corky's very strong right now. It can play, obviously, into his ear. We all know that. Anyone who has been watching in the last 8 years or so.
The last game.
Probably knows. In the last game. Now, Lulu comes out as the ban. We saw this last time. Eventually, DRX just ended up with Alistair. So
yeah, I mean, specifically into like Ornn, you know, this, we're talking about this being Ornn bot lane. This could be Ornn top still as a flex. I doubt it. I really doubt it, but there's the possibility. And if they bring out a Nautilus as well, that could be a really bad time for Teddy. But we'll see. We'll see what they opt to go for here. Banning away the Lulu. If they do go for the Ornn, Senna, a lot of scaling in the bot lane, but not as much pressure as like a Senna Nort. And so you wouldn't want them to play Zeri Lulu just to scale up in return. Renekton ban also coming through from the side of Nongshim. And because it's an AD heavy composition, the Zyra ban came through, and then the Aatrox ban again as a bit of a respect ban towards Mihail.
I think that's fair. I like your idea. You know, just get Nautilus. You might need some heavy damage from the jungle.
Yeah, I think you need to take jungle here if you're going to flex that. And I agree that having a more carry jungler would help. But a lot of the AP junglers being banned out. It looks like in the end they'll just go for the Gnar on the top lane. So likely just going to be that one Senna bot. Now for DRX, could just take Cassante top. Not the most winning matchup, but
how about Jax?
Probably gonna go Jax. I mean, laning phase went pretty good. Everything after that, I'm not so happy with. I'm gonna be honest. Everything after that, all of it. So hopefully it goes better this time. And now I think if you're DRX, just go Leona. I don't think having the Nautilus point and click CC not as essential into like a Senna. I think Leona definitely suitable into a mobile pick like Senna for the long-range ultimates. But it looks like they're toying up with what Pleta would rather play, and he decides, I'm going to play the Nautilus. I want to show I can do it too. And also, it means Nongshim can't put Ornn in the jungle and play Senna not. And clearly, that's exactly what they were planning to do. Except they win.
No. So Maokai, very strong in general, but as of right now, your main damage source is Corky and Mini Gnar?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Is that enough into 2.5 tanks?
I think it's okay. They have a lot of CC. The Senna's not like a consistent damage threat, but has a decent amount of damage later. There will be that point in the game where Guga doesn't have ornaments yet, and Senna is starved and loads of levels behind. That point in the game will be a sore spot. But outside of that, I think they should be okay. Early skirmishing is fine. They have the Maokai and the Ornn ult to make things hard for Teddy. Late game, they get to that point, definitely can come through, but
based on what we saw, based on what we saw in game 1, where they were constantly fighting for seemingly not a huge reason, I worry when your whole team has a trough. But you're right. I mean, if you do get to late game, Senna will pop off. Gnar can do damage, especially if the laning phase goes well. Whoa. Look at that. It's a raccoon. The head's going crazy.
How many abs does it have?
About 12.
Counted 16.
It just keeps going.
All the way. Yeah, and I don't think DRX's comp is... You know, the Sejuani Jax at least is a pretty strong combo, so hopefully they make use of that. And excited to see what Pleta can do on this Nautilus in this game.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes as we are ready. Let's hop into the Rift for game number 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty, let's jump into this one. The Nongshim fans are hyped up because, well, they were losing pretty heavily in game 1, and then they came back and stomped them. So a lot to cheer about for Nongshim, and Nongshim have gotten the better of DRX over the last 7 matchups, 4-3 in matches. Can they extend their lead, or will we just achieve equilibrium again?
That is the question. And yeah, I feel like this is a difficult game to play Nautilus into because he tends to struggle into things that are very bulky and up in his face and have a lot of CC to block his CC himself. And Maokai and a farming Ornn definitely provide that. So
yeah,
might be a bit of a challenge here. Double grasp solo lanes for DRX. See if they can get some value out of that. Something to mention though, it is the cleanse for Teddy, but they have cleanse, they also have ignite, and Nongshim only have heal in terms of combat sums with the teleport obviously being taken, so have to be a bit delicate in these early fights. You see Jiwoo taking some big damage already.
Yeah. He is sent up with Ornn, so should be able to sustain up a little bit as this does come along. And Jiwoo has played this twice already. Both of the other times, I wasn't very happy just because, again, we talked about this in the first series. Every team has an identity, and I feel like one of Nongshim's big identities is that Jiwoo is the carry. And Senna can eventually carry, don't get me wrong. We have seen Senna POGs, players pop off on Senna.
I mean,
but it's not even necessarily his play style either.
I'm just going to be honest, you know, it's called fasting Senna, and I feel like a lot of the teams play it like farming Senna, where they just never farm, they never get XP. I feel like, obviously, early on you give the farm over the Ornn, but after a certain point, you need experience on the Senna, and honestly, gold as well. Like, souls are great, don't get me wrong, but there should be a transitionary period where you're giving camps over to Senna, or just like actual giving over farm, or at least experience. I feel like teams just...
well, this the Senna might be experiencing more than just fasting.
Yeah.
It's a flash away.
Oh, look at this play again.
Where have we seen this before? Fisher is much healthier this time around, and he is respecting it as well.
No, he's not.
Well, he was for a little bit. And he nearly kills Yehu, but it was a bait all along. And where's he going to go now? Because Sponge is here as well. Right over the wall. He does flash, but the follow flash from Sponge should get the job done. One more auto is there. It's first blood for Sponge.
Yeah, good. Another good move from Rascal. Got this playoff in the last game. We'll do it again with a sync up from Sponge. Able to find a nice punish there. And put Fisher behind in the lane, which I think has some big payoffs. We'll see the replay. And just the angle, I mean, Fisher just overextends pretty far. Clearly just not expecting him to be here this early. They think Rascal maybe just reset and went for a buy. And here, the Valkyrie is timed perfectly if it's just Rascal, but it's not. It's the Sejuani as well who's just able to chase it down. So well played there from Sponge. Good timing, and just a little advantage for DRX in the early game again.
Yeah. Everybody bullying Fisher. Feels pretty good for DRX. And once again, Mihail is going to feel pretty good about his laning phase early on. There is a big wave coming into this one, so Rascal could definitely catch up in CS and should even get ahead if he gets the majority of these. As Jonah Strong zooms in.
Oh,
On the
I
turret
thought he-
TS.
I thought he was going to miss that one.
Oh, he got it. I think he got everything.
He's literally got every single one so far.
Nice.
Oh my god. Every single one! That's some gaming.
All right, GG.
Yehu just missed 1, 2, 3. Got that one. 3 CS, not as good. And G was on 7 CS? Wow.
Please don't trigger twist. Wait, too late. They're permanently triggered.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
I love, you know what? I love those goofy things people do. They're so silly. And I am sure so many people hate them. But it's like, you know, when you're in draft and they're obviously not in, like proper order yet. They're like in pick order.
Yeah.
And they're like, Senna jungle? Lol? What the heck?
It's really funny.
It's been a thing for such a long
hilarious.
time, and it's still, I still give it a little chuckle, you know? And I feel like this is just like that. Senna 8 CS? Is G
Why is the support? Yeah. Why is the support farming?
Why is Guga stealing Jiwoo's farm?
Yeah. Did they have an argument? Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe.
That's some beef.
No,
Last game
Alistair
with
in this
Alistair.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who really was trying to pressure Fisher. They love to punish the tier-only Corki again, but it's just some pressure. And they've got Pleta coming up from bot. And they want to make sure they can get the grubs, which it looks like they should be able to. Surprised that Ju hasn't left the lane yet. We've seen Senna's leave as early as level 3.
Yeah, it's notorious. Senna roam to top to get souls from the grubs.
Yeah.
Is the hallmark play, I feel like, of LCK Senna's.
How about from the Dragon?
Not as common, not as inspired.
We saw it yesterday from Pays.
Yeah, but what does he know? He's only on Gen G.
Yeah, true. DRX coming on in. Fisher doesn't really do much, and there's no smite here for DRX, but they want to take a fight. But Noxum get in, they
Look, the
smite it, they
souls!
get away.
The souls, they're denied!
Souls, denied.
That's the true victory here. And also the Skull Crab too, I guess they also wanted that.
Are individual Mountain Drakes overrated?
No.
5% armor and magic resist.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, compare them to the other ones, right?
Well, if you have 100 armor and magic resist, you get 5 armor and magic resist.
Yeah. I mean, they nerfed all the individual dragons, but like individual mountains are the best because they got nerfed the least. I mean, okay, I say this. Early Ocean, pretty good. Cloud, I think underrated. The out-of-combat movement speed actually pretty nice, especially early.
Yeah.
But like, you know, once upon a time, way back in the day, like Infernal Soul used to be way more 80 and AP, and now it's hardly any.
Yeah, the individual Infernal, I think, was like 9% or something ridiculous.
Yeah, and now
Now it's 3.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Like, because you're saying this, well, it's only 5 armor and MR, but I'm like, well, Sponge doesn't have any real stats to benefit from it. And if you're getting, what, like 3 AD for Teddy, late
Hell yeah.
game will be like 9 max, you know? It's like a long sword at the end of the game. Like, none of the individual dragons are as impactful now as before. Although I think, actually, you know, Hextech scales pretty well. Because you get the double stat, the attack speed and the ability haste. There's certain champions really enjoy Ezreal. Big enjoyer, Corki, big enjoyer. But I still think Mountain's just a lot of value because even on the squishier champs, you know, like we've seen champions get like their armor nerfed by like 2. And it's actually impacted their win rate, you know?
Yeah. Oh, nice smite away from Sylvie. Gives the Pengu with the top hat. Top of the morning to you. That's my red buff.
I feel like the damage is so much more severe if you do the emote.
It is. I mean, Peanut has taught us that many a time.
It's just such a winning strategy. Did you ever hear about so when I used to cast LPL, there was this player Wayward who he did emotes all the time. I'll hold this thought.
Looks like Sylvie is about to put some damage into Rascal with a flash on in, and that Maokai. Oh, the Gnar ultimate, though, huge, and the flash away. And the fade away is not enough to get away. So Rascal will pick up another kill in this game.
Well, G was here.
He is level 5, but it's enough. And with the TP coming in, they absolutely try to jump ship out of here. But it's an Ornn who TP's in, and Pleta is dead. Cougar gonna take the kill. And, you know, he got POG in game 1, so honestly, just deserved.
Yeah, Planet just go down, but a lot invested to make that answer, having to use that TP, and that means that Teddy is just a lone bot lane. Should be able to get a... I don't know if he'll get a plate. Maybe. Probably.
I was going to say, I think he might get 2 plates.
They have 3 grubs, actually. Good point.
You're like, I don't know if they're going to get a plate. I'm like, maybe they get 2 plates. It's not going to be 2 because the Maokai is here, but...
I always underestimate the grubs. Yeah, so... Just a good aggressive play to counteract. Obviously, Rascal was being pressured here. It's a good ult for Mahal, but just not enough. And then here, bit of an overstep from DRX. I think they might have... The thing is, I feel like DRX, if the TP hadn't come in, probably would have maybe tried to fight it. Who knows? But regardless, they commit the TP, they get the kill, and now it looks like they're going for another dive in the top lane. They really want this Jax to work, and they are committing. The setup on the Sejuani is so big here.
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened in game 1 when they got the Jax fed. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Backing off quickly because they see a lot of people coming. They will take the plates and dip, is the strategy here.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. I mean, you had to get a couple guys up there to help Rascal, but he gets plates, and
No.
Rascal...
saw them coming, Rascal. You have to leave.
He will.
Okay.
A little bit scary there.
Okay. I think maybe I have time for my story.
All right, tell us about Wayward.
Yeah, so he was in a series against OMG and it was Aki on OMG. And what Aki would do is he'd walk up to a brush next to the lane and he'd flash an emote.
Yeah.
And if Wayward could see him on vision, Wayward always responded with an emote. Like he gave away that they had vision there.
Yeah.
Because he would always emote. And Aki talked about it afterwards. It was just like his compulsion to emote literally into himself.
Yeah, no, I've heard that before, and it's hilarious.
It's just so. It's the fact that like obviously it's very funny that like Wayward does that, but also just the fact Aki literally used it as a strategy against him.
Yeah.
The Giga Brain.
So they've really been trying to pressure this Nara, but Mahal is doing the same thing he did in game 1, which is hop and boomerang.
Yep.
Away.
And just do a little bit of little jog, little run.
Jiwoo is very much River Senna, just running around, picking up souls, doing nothing else.
You say picking up souls, not many.
Occasionally. 1 or 2 here or there.
This isn't really the matchup I think you want in the top lane.
Yeah. Jack's generally pretty good into Ornn.
Especially in Ornn, who has a lot less farm than if Ornn had just been top lane. But yeah, Dragon gonna be secured by DRX, and it is a Hextech Soul. So obviously a pretty big one. And also base gates, which, you know, if a certain top laner is going for a flank, maybe can close the distance a little bit faster.
Mahal, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
Understandable.
Got the express flanks coming in. Thank you, Jace from Arcane, for providing those.
He is pretty smart, isn't he? Jace.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little push coming on in mid, and Teddy's alone. He has to back away. Meanwhile, Yehu's getting some free time with his own turret. And just trading plates. Teddy pretty safely is going to be able to farm this up, but you and Fisher are getting money where they would like it.
Yeah. Tyler's going to chain up to help, just offer some support so he can clear out this wave. Yeah, we'll just dash away. He's okay. Yeah, a lot of plates taken on both sides. Just trying to get as much gold as possible out of this early game. Definitely feel like the Senna appreciates plates a lot when you know you're not going to have as much gold income as other people in the game. That gold has a lot more value. Speaking of value, Frozen Heart for Guga. I would say the Frozen Heart value into DRX pretty high.
Yeah.
Very high.
It's not like the highest ever in the history of League of Legends, but it's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, all 3 potential carries. Love them some attack speed.
They do like to attack fast.
But instead, Frozen Heart.
Oh.
Mahal is getting bullied.
Oh,
and you know what he does?
He did it again.
He hopped away, and he threw a boomerang.
No. Okay. He wanted to, but he decided against it. Because he couldn't get in range.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he did the boomer hop.
And that's, you know, it's the LCK. We love our safety. We love our consistency. Nara's very safe. Can't really punish that.
Yeah, Rascal will keep trying, though, till the end of time.
Yeah.
Now Hell's been started, but Nongshim are actually in a position where they could have looked to collapse, but they ended up backing away, not feeling confident in their power right now. So they will just give over the Herald. Mid lane tier 1, still very high on HP. I imagine Nongshim, DRX, sorry, would still want to use it there and try and break the tier 1, I think would be my estimation, but it looks like they're going top instead. Not prioritizing the mid tier 1 we typically see. They think they'll have Nisha time break in this tower. It's already low.
And Sponge says, never mind.
Yo. Just a prank, by the way.
Yeah. Just kidding, LOL.
Ha, silly caster. You thought.
And now he's going to go back top. They pinged it 3 times. They're going top.
Oh, he did the double fake out. Man,
Yeah.
this is shameless.
I mean, you got a Zerion mid against an Ornn, so...
And look, you secured Herald, and now you will lose the tower race. Not exactly the payoff we're perhaps looking for.
Are they really going to get the bot? Yeah, they are. Wow. I mean, first turret's already down somewhere. In bot,
Yeah.
that's where it was. Okay. So DRX already got first turret, so that's not the end of the world. In the race, as now just trying to bully Sylvie here, they have the CC chain of the days, but Fleta...
Oh, the escape!
Oh, he gets into the Rift Herald! But the rest of the team not in a great spot here, as Yehu's also going to be knocked up. Here comes Fisher and the rest of the team. The house blocked by the Rift Herald, but it doesn't matter. It's a double kill for the Corki.
You know, Planet had the swift getaway, but only one person could fit in that car, not 3. Couldn't do any clown car shenanigans there. Nongshim respond quickly, and in the end, Herald used, but it's a 1-for-1 tower trade, and Nongshim bite back on top of that. Get 2 kills in return, so pretty big payoff for them.
Yeah, feels pretty huge. And Miles just going to back away here. They get the teleport out of Rascal here with 40 seconds until the first Hextech Drake. And you know that Nongshim are going to be eyeing that one. They are pretty hungry for some Hextech Drake. Let's take a look at this fight once again.
나 이번 나 이거 보자 이거.
This series
go.
has been about Nautilus
I said
escapes.
없어,
That's the
없어.
takeaway. It's like I'm in.
빼.
Get out.
나 처음 타고 뺄게.
And that's all you have to say. I'm getting out.
Well, actually, they cut the clip because he said, "See you, nerds," immediately after that.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the end of the conversation. Fish are going to try to TP,
No.
and you know what? There's no divide, so he will actually get away. That feels bad for Yehu. Meanwhile, it's DRX starting this up. Why did Mihail not back? He doesn't have TP.
Rascal? Guga's just trying to E him from over the wall.
Yeah, I feel like he could have flashed, and maybe they get the pick.
Yeah, very... This game's getting goofy fast.
Yeah.
No. I feel like the early game, genuinely, the early game feels like both teams are actually making some pretty intelligent moves. And then it gets to this point, and it just gets goofy. It happened last game as well.
I just don't get why Nongshim didn't back and try to group for the Drake. I mean, they got top turret. That's good. They did a tiny bit of damage to mid. But DRX, it felt like they were behind on tempo on that one, but they still ended up getting the Drake.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That's kind of the feel of this game. It's like, oh, well, you know, DRX just got it. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's not big of a deal. Hey, last time there was a 4-0 Zeri and they still won. This time it's a 0-0 Zeri. No concerns.
And his opponent, Jiu, has 3 assists instead of 3 deaths.
That's a bit better.
Yeah.
But they did win with that last time, so maybe not.
Yeah, he also got 3 kills and was 3-3 at some point.
And one was shut down. Oh, he can't get a shutdown from Teddy this time. Well, he can. He's 150 shutdown from farm alone.
Yeah. Most farm in the game to Teddy.
That's nothing new. But, yeah. Well, they're going to try and set up for this mid-tier 1 here. You can see Nongshim trying to move in return, but they got to be quick.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn going to
They
threaten here, and everybody backs away.
I lied completely. There was no need for them even to head over. They could have just stayed where they were, and Ornn could just solo defend.
Greencaster's talking about how strong Ornn is. I mean, they're very scared of him. I feel like that's the feel we're getting from this. He blows the horn, and then DRX
And just
scatter.
But yeah, I think as well, especially into a composition like Nongshim's, there's so much CC between the jungle and support. Like, these are like premier CC champions in terms of what they
Get
are.
the soul.
Jiwoo doesn't care for it.
Okay, well, he's going to get this one, at least.
Yeah. 61 soul check. You know, it's okay.
Posture check.
Yep. 3 levels down on Teddy. Again, it's not a surprise. It's not like I'm saying like, whoa, it's just, that's how it goes when you're playing center. Very squishy, very vulnerable. And Planet.
Okay, like the energy, is it going to amount to anything? It looks like no, the disengage from, well, Flash and Maokai is good enough. Cougar gonna get frozen up here. He is quite tanky, but with this many members and this much CC, he gets away. Teddy does have to dash forward and take a turret shot, but definitely worth it. And now DRX are sieging mid one.
And they should be able to get this. No Ornn to stop them this time.
빨간 팀의 포탑이 파괴.
Good moves. And you know what? You know why it went so much better? Because Rascal just TP'd in the middle of the fight, not like 7 miles away.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to be there immediately, right on top of them. Obviously, didn't manage to get Jiwoo to get the flash, though. And I think that's a trade you can be happy with. Your ults are going to be back in time for the next dragon, but Jiwoo's flash won't. And that's definitely something you can exploit.
Absolutely. Well, Mihail is very deep in this one. He's just going to throw out an R just to get away. Sponge doesn't have his. And now the Ornn Horn for the siege, looking for Yehu, is going to knock him up. And they knock down the turret. So the siege is successful.
Traded mid-tier ones ended up coming through from both these teams. Do have Fisher. Honestly, again, it's been a kind of a quiet game for Fisher, but he's now got second most farm in the game. We do see Planet go for the flash Q here, but Jiwoo does react fast enough. But then Guga moving over to Peel ends up getting caught out. Sponge just a step away for the full AoE on the ultimate. And then Teddy just cleans up the kill with the dash at the end. So good pickup there. But yeah, Fisher, 230 CS, second highest in the game. 2 kills now. Has that power spike that the Corki is big on. And was most damage in last game. And I feel like he's had another silent one here where he could end up making a big impact. And needs to, because you kind of talked about it a lot during draft. They need the Corki to be doing some damage.
They need the damage from him and the supporting acts, which are Gnar and Senna, as this game comes along. First Ornn item is online for, you guessed it, Ornn on that Frozen Heart. And as he keeps gaining those levels, we are going to see more and more. And, you know, eventually, it is going to be a Corki that does obscene amounts of damage. It is going to be a Senna that has gotten through the trough pretty much unscathed. I mean, Jiwoo's still down on levels, not quite through it, but for now, we haven't really seen too much. But the CC's coming in again, once again onto a tank, but there's the Senna ult. And the heal to try to peel. Fisher is out in the middle of nowhere, is going to have to flash. Not sure about that positioning, but...
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Summoner burnt, help Barlow and Sylvie, but he's got Warmogs. The big thing is, though, you burnt a lot of big ults for DRX, and you didn't get kills, just summoners, you know? And unlike the fight before, where you're going to get the ults back for the fight, they're unavailable, so Nongshim going towards the Dragon. They will take mid-tier 2.
Nongshim trying to come in here, trying to punish, but Cougar gets zoned off of his ult, and they will keep them around, but no, Lena not going to take that over the wall. And we'll just stick with the team, a 5-man unit. Meanwhile, the Dragon is being taken by Mihail and Mega Gnar. There's the Nature's Grasp. As now Rascal very much behind enemy lines.
What is going on?
I do not know.
Jiwoo is playing a dangerous game. And Rascal is...
LoL is a dangerous game, you're right.
Rascal is just flanking again, doing his own thing on the back line. Yeah, an interesting passage of play. Nongshim feeling confident after DRX been a lot of big ultimates, so able to push in and get the Dragon. DRX do end up picking up the tier 2 mid, but definitely a win for Nongshim on the back of that. So navigate pretty well. And a lot of summoners bin as well. Sylvie and Fisher's flash going down. But we end up having no one dying. A very peaceful exchange. Well, apart from the dragon.
Yeah.
Any dragon rights supporters will be very angry with me.
I'm a little bit devastated, for sure. But there's going to be more where that came from. Can't change it in a single game. But it's a Hextech Dragon apiece, so neither team is on soul point. So this one could extend for a very long time. And I mean, you look at the side of DRX, they have ample amounts of scaling. You look at the side of the Nongshim, they have a good amount of scaling themselves.
Yeah.
So might just end up being like a 40-minute game.
I honestly feel like this is the point where Nongshim are in that trough, really, because only one items come through. Jiwoo's 4 levels down. And Teddy is LDR. Oh, but is now getting engaged on.
Yeah, and then Maokai is just tanking up so much. But here comes the Teddy ultimate and the double stun onto Sylvie and Guga. The front line is just being melted. Mihail is in that back line, and Jiwoo and Fisher are still alive, though. And now the Zeri ultimate has kind of timed out. But look at the damage out of Yehu, just pushing him back. And you see that Nongshim not quite able to continue chasing after that one. It's just a 1-for-1 trade of junglers.
Yeah, they'll not push for the tier 2 hit, though, because DRX need to back away. They've been routed on this turret. This might just die immediately. They don't really have a defense here unless Yehu can get in. And he's taking a very conservative route, so it should just be gone. Good moves coming out from Nongshim to scare that one. Feels like the fights are so delicate, you know, both teams conscious that it could easily backfire, and both junglers suffering a similar fate. But now, oh, he's flanking.
He is flanking. Mihail has no idea that Hop isn't going to do much, and Mihail is in a bunch of trouble. He does have flash, and he will utilize it to get over the wall, and with Rascal thinking about it, but once again, the runaway and boomerang works out. Mihail gets away, but no teleport, and the Baron is up.
And so much value from the boomerang, honestly. Flash ban, though, I think DRX obviously wanted more, but still a positive play to bin Mihail's flash there, but it's not nearly as much as if he'd gotten the kill. And gold lead, it's just under 2,000 in favor of DRX, but you don't really feel it right now. This fight, the engage starts to come in, so immediately Platter starts the fight because he knows he has to counteract it. Teddy steps forward, starts getting damage down, but a big amount of burst comes out from Fisher out of Teddy and Sponge and really forces them back.
Look at this Azir damage, though.
Yeah. I feel like both mid laners doing a lot of work there in terms of providing some exit damage as the teams are disengaging.
So I thought maybe DRX were going to run out of Baron with Mihail totally just pushed away, but Rascal went bot and didn't have TP himself, and there was a lot of vision control that hadn't been cleared out in favor of Nongshim. And so they just didn't go for it, pushed out the lanes. They get the vision control themselves, so currently DRX in favor in terms of map control.
Jiwoo now has an upgraded Ghost Blade. Do you know the name of that?
No.
Me neither.
Didn't they take them away? Isn't it just Masterwork now?
Oh, is it? That's so lame.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's just Yomu's Ghost Blade Masterwork.
I miss when we had the cool names that no one actually knew, but then someone, like one specific person would be like, oh, you know, this one's called this? You're like, oh, that's
so cool.
Yeah, like Gale Force was called Typhoon.
Deicide for, what's that item?
I don't know.
the thing that looks like an axe, kind of. It was built all the time. I don't know. It's not around anymore, and neither is Deicide. And
You're gonna have to do more than that.
I'm not very good at describing these things.
That item, you know, the one that the you know.
Yeah.
Black Cleaver's still around.
It wasn't that.
Okay, well.
Something else.
It wasn't Black Cleaver. Cool, we've established that. Any other items?
Could be anything.
Could literally be anything. Deathfire Grasp? That was around and isn't anymore.
Heart of Gold? No, it's not that either. Not upgraded Heart of Gold. So DRX are just going to start a Baron on Vision. And then they say, no, we weren't, Valdez. You're wrong.
They were just pretending.
Yeah. Jiwoo just getting souls feels good.
Yep. Trying to apply some poke down here. Red buff, though, on DRX will sustain them up a little bit. Nongshim rotating over to play out this Vision. And Mihail pushing top. ideally would line up to have Mega, but now Guga could be in trouble.
Guga is in a lot of trouble. He's trying to get out of this one. The TP is coming in. Big Sen ultimate onto pretty much everybody, but Rascal goes into that backline, but they fight front to back as Teddy is going to pick up that first kill, and he's still alive, but Sponge is solo. Mihail and Fisher on the left. They get swept in. It is massive, but the damage is not there. Teddy's already out, and down will go Plata. And once again, it's a 1-for-1 trade, this time for the supports. We're looking for more, though. They want to get onto Teddy, and the flash twisted advance will get it done. It's a shutdown given over to Fisher's Corky.
But DRX are posturing. They want to look for more, but the saplings will find them.
Yep. And now they're kind of on the run awkwardly. Rascal is going to take a missile to the back and just take the Hex Gate out. This one should be the Hextech Drake to Notion.
Able to secure a good fight there, and it feels like DRX are looking for picks, and they keep getting caught in 5v5s. They see Guga, they're like, hey, this guy might be a bit overextended, they're a bit split, let's start the fight here. But they don't end up connecting onto a high-value target. And look at Fisher this whole time. Just free hitting, walks up, gets a big auto and a Q on a Teddy. Teddy has to flash away, keeps thinking Sponge. It just got untouched until finally Yehu ults him. But then he just valks away, starts putting damage down on the Plata. And essentially just free hitting this whole time. And I feel like you have to focus on the backline for the side of DRX. You have a Nautilus. If you can get an ult on Fisher, great, but Fisher just picked up that 800 gold shutdown. He is so strong now. Has the upgraded Manamune, I guess it's called Manamune.
Masterwork.
Yeah, rapid fire as well, closing in on a third item. So level 16, maxed rockets, he will be doing insane damage right now.
He absolutely will. I think that in a game that's this close, DRX have to be careful about fighting in a straight line against Ornn and Senna in the enemy jungle and extending really far, because you're just taking way too much damage. So we'll see if the fights look a little bit different here, as Nongshim certainly in a pretty good spot at this point. Have control of the river, 99 stacks for Jiwoo. It's not the highest number we've seen at this point in the game, but at least he's beginning to hit some break points here.
Yeah, 100, obviously big spike. 120, I feel like, is where it becomes insane, the amount of range. But DRX looking to contest this if Sponge can get in.
Sponge's going to be rooted up. They want to go for the turn, actually. Sponge rooted again. No damage coming through. A little bit hesitant here from the side of Nongshim, and DRX get out as the peel comes through, and Nongshim just going to start up the Baron again.
Yeah, Sponge really needs the Warmog to start ticking. Needs the help if he wants to get into the pit.
Well, I mean, he's ready. The peel not coming through once again. Hook on Ornn isn't going to do anything. The root on the Bleta means he is dead. And now, Meganar available. Nongshim, I think they secure themselves a Drake, or a Baron here, rather. There it is.
They just can't approach, you know? Kind of the concern I had with this Nautilus playing into Maokai, Ornn. They are so much tankier than you are right now. And their CC just mangles you. And Fisher on this Corki is doing so much damage.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. And every single time they try to engage on a Guga, he's like, well, you got me that one time in mid. But eventually, he just becomes so tanky that you cannot engage on Ornn, but they don't have any other choice.
Yeah, they just have to hit the closest target. They do end up getting the Edge Knight from Jiwoo, which I think maybe is part of the reason they feel confident to walk up again. I mean, they kind of have to contest the Baron. But unfortunately, they just keep struggling to find an angle. And the bouncer play from the front line of Nongshim, Guga just making sure there's no access on the back line here. The ult comes in, but Fisher just walks away.
Just walk away from the enemy, and you're fine. Baron taken here for Nongshim. It's going to last right up until that Hextech Drake spawns.
Yeah, and I think Nongshim feel a lot better about the state of the game. 2 great gold ahead. Jiwoo's got an Edge of Night, offering a lot of safety. Masterwork items out to 4/5 of the team. Feeling far better now.
Well, they're engaging on a Guga again, but this time they've got everybody in here. Tons of CC, but it just does not matter. He is way too tanky, and now the Ornn value is huge as Rascal not even going to kill Guga. Not even able to do that as Mihail is going to go down to Asterix, but man, the job is already done. Guga gives them the thumbs up because he knows all he got to do is taunt the enemy team.
Just stand there and be on, and the amount of AoE damage that is coming out, Teddy will step forwards and just basically get one shot. Not even intentional damage, it just feels like the AoE flying out from the likes of Fisher. Sylvie Jiwoo is just burning through that health bar. They can't get that first kill. They can't get the momentum Zeri loves, and now they're looking to end the game.
And now, Jiwoo is just outranging the Zeri, who has no front line. The rest of the team trying to stop the push, but it just feels doomed, and down will go Pleta. The rest of the team is just alone and sad. Yehu desperately trying to stop them. That's a kill onto a couple as they overextend. The Nexus is laid. They're trying to hit it down, and they should be able to. Jiwoo with the range gets the job done, and Nongshim take the 2-0.
Yeah, really strong performance there from Nongshim. You know, game one definitely felt like, you know, there was some, they have to make a big comeback to get into it. But game two, they were the ones who managed to, I mean, again, I guess, make a comeback, but just really show a higher level of control. Their composition had all these scaling elements. They stole it out. They leant towards them. The team fight they had complete control of. And it just feels like the first time they beat DRX, it was a bit of a surprise. This time feels a lot more convincing. It is a 2-0. And it feels like they're starting to really feel better about these players they've integrated onto their roster.
Shouting out Nongshim Red Force. The org feeling pretty good about themselves. They're able to defeat DRX twice here in summer. And they only have 3 wins now, but it's a sweet 3 wins. They defeat the same org twice. And as Nongshim, you're just going to be looking up from here. You say, okay, we can beat DRX. I believe the other team they beat was Bro, and you know, it's a good day to get a 2-0 for these guys. They played as a team. They looked great. Guga looking really strong actually today. I was impressed by him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, Guga has had some rough games early in the season, and I think a lot of people were critical because he is an older player. But older player, younger player, like getting used to a new environment, whether it's a league or a team, takes some time. And I think, you know, given time, given space, he's shown improvements that need to be praised. And Nongshim with this win, going to be able to close a bit of the gap between them and the likes of BNK, FairX. Still a while behind, but this is a big win for them if they want to keep their hopes alive of getting top 6. And we'll see a lot of the early game dictated by DRX, but it just felt like there was a lot of backfiring. You know, game one, the advantage they had early was significant, which is why it felt like more of a throw. This didn't feel like a significant throw. It just felt like they never really got as much of an advantage as you'd hope. And the engagers never found the right target. You know, it was constantly on this front line. And damage taken, I think Guga topped the charts.
I mean, he had to have. I mean, there were times where he died in situations like that. I mean, he dies in this fight too. But it just doesn't matter because if DRX used everything for a tanky Ornn, like, that's just not good. That's not gonna feel good unless you can get multiple kills afterwards and you're very far ahead. But it was a very even game, and he threw everything into eventually level 16 Ornn, who just didn't care.
Yeah, it got to the point where he was just so tanky, and Zeri isn't the best tank shredder. You know, it takes a lot of time to cut through a target like this. And you see here, so it's the damage from Fisher with the Sentinel. Look at Teddy's health.
Yep.
Just
and then Ornn.
It has to flash the Ornn, but like, you know, flash it or not, you're out of the fight. And then Pleta having to ult and flash away to not die to Mihail, but the game's already over at this point.
Maybe Pleta should have also ulted Guga. Maybe then they can kill him. I don't think so.
Yeah.
They're just saying we can end. Hit the turret.
Man, and Jiwoo just doing so much damage here. This is the point where they want to get to, you know.
They're making like, not sure. Hit the turret. Hit the Nexus. They got a little scared there at the end, and makes sense. So, yeah, who did a lot, but eventually, you know, Jiwoo caught up to Teddy, did the same amount of damage. Senna provided a lot of value. Actually, Sylvie did more damage than both of our AD carries in this game.
That's just Maokai just throwing saplings with Leandries. You know, I feel like Fisher had a really consistent performance across the series on the Corki, just getting a lot of damage out. Not necessarily like the flashy hero, but doing a lot of work on that pick. And yeah, I feel like Nongshim looking a lot more complete. Still, it's DRX, you know, it's not the hardest opponent they're going to face by a long stretch, but this is a big win for keeping their hopes alive.
Yeah, it feels great, and we'll see how far Nongshim can go here in LCK Summer 2024, but we are done here on the caster desk. Let's throw it over to the space to break down Nongshim versus DRX.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun for the POG interview translation, and today we are joined by the solo POG on the side of Nongshim, Guger. Congratulations! Guger, what a great start to the second round robin of the summer season. How do you feel to be the solo POG and also take a series win up against DRX? I mean, we came here to win the match, but still, I was not expecting this POG, so unexpected kind of a gift for me, so it feels amazing. So ever since last year, every single DRX Nongshim match was a 3-game series, but this time around, you guys managed to get a clean 2-0 shutout. How did you pull it off? I think mainly we wanted to just, make sure that just try not to make mistakes and also stay kind of calm and collected. So as long as we can, remember those kind of goals, I was pretty confident that we'll make it happen. And recently, you reached challenger rank in Korean servers, so a lot of people are calling it the power of the 30s. How has your practice been going lately? I mean, we were not having a great result in the first round robin, so I just wanted to grind, I didn't even, take any break, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not, spend my vacation just to chill out. I would rather wanted to kind of, climb the ladders, and I think it's slowly paying off. Now let's talk about the game today. Well, in the early game of first game, Kaisa was repeatedly being targeted, so you guys were in not the best spot, to be honest. How did you manage to kind of make a comeback? Well, Jiu kind of said, if I played better, in the first turret dive, he was like, I could have played it better. Maybe I could survive there. But after like dive 2, dive 3, he was becoming a little bit speechless. But still, we wanted to make sure that we're not getting too tilted, Other laners were still buying time for the Kaisa to scale, so heading to the mid to the late game, Jiu managed to get a kill, and he slowly was able to get things started. Now let's take a look at this replay together, where you were able to land a hook that turned the entire game around. So we started the Drake, and then, we wanted to make sure that we have the control of that C-curve brush, where we call the banana brush. And then I saw like enemy approaching, and I thought Bobby was just gonna like hit a home run on me, so I was like, I might just like be kind of flying to the opposite side of the map, but I want to make sure that I land my hook before I leave the scene. So I was going for the play, and it worked. And game 2, you won POG on Ornn, and Ornn. Actually, Senna-Ornn combination is 6-0 so far this season. I mean, Nongshim is a team that has a very high or very strong AD carry potential, so a lot of teams are targeting Jiu's champion pool. So in game 2, we wanted to focus on the Senna-Ornn comp, especially unless Jiu gets targeted so bad and like gets killed or dove so many times. We thought Senna late game will be so powerful. So when you are making comp around Senna, unless you one-shot Senna, the sustainability is so good. So I was reminding my teammates that take it slow, as long as we have a longer team fight, it's a win for us. Yeah, Senna's sustainability was the focal point today. In game 2, the enemy focused heavily on your Ornn during team fights, but your Ornn just didn't die. How did you manage to survive that long? And also, were you confident that you're going to be the POG because you just didn't die at all? Well, to be honest, I felt like I didn't really pull off any kind of an outplay, you know? I was not going for some super like team fights or like making crazy angles. So I was not expecting a POG, but now that I watched the POG highlight reel, I kind of, realized I didn't die. I was very, very, tanky, so maybe I deserve a POG. And your next opponent is BNK DRX. Are you confident about the matchup? In order to be competitive for the playoffs run, we have to, make sure that we win every single match possible. And I believe BNK right now is a very strong team, and their momentum is unstoppable. But I want to do my best in order to get a win in that series. And shortly after, you and Jiwoo will be joining the Lolly Night, the talk show, after the match. So, how are you gonna do over there? Are you excited? I think it's like my first time ever, so I'm a little nervous, but I wanna make sure that I can bring a lot of fun to the fans. Once again, thank you so much for your support to Nongsin Red Force. In the upcoming matches, I want to make sure that we will be able to bring you better performance throughout the season. And that's the end of the interview from Guger on the Nongsin Red Force, and back to the space. Thank you.